Eventually, losing streaks have to end, and the Outlaws certainly hope that tonight's going to be their night. Welcome back to historic Tomasky Field here on Oneonta Outlaws YouTube. As always, my name's Colby Smith, and this Oneonta team now has dropped 7 straight following the first half of a home-and-home back-to-back series against this same Boonville Lumberjacks team that they are playing tonight here on Around the World, the 9 innings night. Let's now quickly jump in and take a look at yesterday. 6-2 was your final score as the Lumberjacks took it at their home confines. I was always known as the Robert Smith Sports Complex up there in Booneville, but watching along on their YouTube yesterday, I guess it's got some wonky new name, Howard something Field. I apologize that I didn't write that down for you, but that's not the important part here. The stats, the numbers, what happened on the field is what counts. Again, 6-2 your final score. Macklemore had an RBI double in the 4th inning, which opened the scoring as Santiago rounded the base pass for the Lumberjacks, and they take the early 1-0 jump. Jason Bassett was still in the ball game at that point. You'll hear about it later in the pregame show for both him and Keaton Mark, but he was very happy with how his start went yesterday up there on the road. He ended up going 6 innings, did take the loss, and he's had 2 resound starts for this team. I mean, the pitching for this team really hasn't been that bad. You'll see the staff ERA numbers, and we'll talk about it throughout the night. And it's going to get frustrating to see, a 7, 8 ERA night in and night out. But the pitching really has not been that bad. They've held the team in ball games, and like Bassett will say here momentarily, he felt like he gave this team a chance to win, and that's not something that it seems like we're hearing just about every day. These Outlaw players are talking about the activities, they're talking about the experience of being here in Oneonta, but who is saying, I'm going out there, I'm giving my team a chance to win, I'm trying to put this team on my back and do it. That's what Jason Bassett said, and those are the things we want to hear at this point in the season. I mean, you look at the numbers, it is frustrating. You can't sugarcoat it, you can't say it any other way. This team's sitting at 3-18, but again, better days have to be ahead. You can only go up from when you're sitting at the bottom, and this Outlaw team is just trying to do that here in the month of July. But going away from my rant, let's keep going. DeHart flat out to center field, a sat fly in the 4th, scoring triplet. Macklemore advanced to 3rd after his RBI double. It was 2-0 Booneville. Then you had Burgos have an RBI double, which scored Macklemore, and all of a sudden after 4 innings, the Lumberjacks had a 3-0 lead. Oneonta would get a run bat, top 5. Jace Kohler would fly out to right, scoring Brendan Connolly, and just like that, it was 3-1 Lumberjacks. Then Booneville would kind of put the icing on the cake, put that slash in there in the 7th inning when it all of a sudden became 5-1. Gonzalez would have a 2 RBI single, scoring Tepeta and Jonas. Both were unearned runs, which certainly helped the case on the night. Colin Carver surrendering 3 runs, 1 earned run out of the pen, and you heard Keaton Mark talk about his outing, how early on he was in the zone, he was filling it up, but then all of a sudden, towards the end of things, just raveled up a little bit, gave up some hits, and, well, it's baseball, It's a luck game. Like they say, 3 times out of 10, if you hit 300, you end up in the Hall of Fame. So those are the kind of things you have to keep in mind, and certainly not a lot of 300 type of hitting going on here for the Outlaws right now, but that's okay. In the 8th inning, Ian Wirtz would have an RBI single. Carrera would go to 3rd. Jack Clark would score. It was 5-2. And then the Lumberjacks would cash in their last run in the 8th inning as Burgos had an RBI single. DeHart advancing to 2nd. Triplet went to 3rd. Santiago scored. And that wraps out the scoring summary from last night. 6-2, Booneville the final. Lumberjacks finished with 8 hits to the Outlaws 7. Booneville also finishing with 2 errors in the field last night, something that's kind of plagued them here as of late especially. They're chilling at 5th in this East Division in terms of fielding percentage. So, again, we'll keep an eye on that. We'll talk about that later on throughout the broadcast. 12 left on base for Booneville to the that's flip-flopped. I apologize. It was 12 left on base for the Outlaws to 5 for Booneville. So, numbers get shuffled in my head. It happens. I'm colorblind. I didn't say I was numbers blind, but anyway. 8-7 Outlaws in the strikeout department take just 1 more than the Lumberjacks last night. Pitching was solid. I mean, again, Jason Bassett really gave this team a chance to win. Colin Carver, Asa Dugan came out of the bullpen as well, and Dugan won't be hot in the bullpen tonight, but a lot of arms are going to be available for Oneonta tonight, and You think behind Logan Schul, who's gone no more than 3 innings in each of his first 3 starts, you're going to need some bullpen depth. So that's what the Outlaws are going to be hoping to get tonight out of that little alcove down there in left field. But let's look, before we go to our player interview of the day, player of the game last night, Jack Clark. I have 2 for 4 here, and he pointed out to me before the game he actually went 3 for 4 last night. 1 was scored as an error that should have been a hit, and apparently that's going to be corrected. So 3 for 4 last night was Jack Clark with a run and 2 stolen bags. He did player of the game for the 3rd time already this summer for the Outlaws, and he has been on a tear. And he'll be right back in the lineup tonight. But before we go any further, let's go down to our player interview of the day with Outlaw pitcher Jason Bassett, who again had the start last night. And you'll hear early in this interview, Staten Island Pitcher of the Year in high school ball. So let's get to it. Jason Bassett here on our pregame show. Colby Smith, and I'm super excited to be joined by newly announced Staten Island High School Pitcher of the Year, Jason Bassett. Jason, congratulations.
Thank you.
So let's talk about it. Last night up in Boonville, your second start as an Outlaw.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about what you saw.
So last night was obviously a lot better than my first start. I feel like the first start I learned a lot, and I feel like every start going forward I'm getting better. And yesterday I felt like I gave my chance a team to win more in the game than my first start, and yeah.
Well, when you talk about learning things, what specifically are you referring to?
So in the first start, obviously I saw the difference from high school to college players right away. And then you can't just throw right down the middle. You have to have multiple pitches. So then yesterday we attacked all the corners, way more successful. And then yesterday I learned like when you're ahead in the count, you can't just be throwing breaking balls or stuff down the middle like 1-2, 0-2. So that's definitely something I'll take into my next start.
Well, how would you describe that transition from facing high school to college hitting?
Yeah, obviously when I'm in high school, I'm a senior. I feel like I'm just better than everyone here. And I felt like in high school, I'm like older. I'm the senior. I'm the oldest. Now all these kids are older than me. Obviously, I have to pitch differently. In high school, I was more of a strikeout guy. Now I'm more pitching, more to contact, trusting my field.
And in terms of your high school career in itself, how awesome was that experience for you, and how much did you enjoy your time?
Yeah, obviously our last year, I've been playing with those kids probably since like Little League, so that we won the championship and we were just able to have those final memories of winning was amazing.
How cool was it for you to stick with that same group all growing up?
Yeah, it was amazing. Those are just childhood friends, and those are memories that we'll have for the rest of our life and that we'll never forget.
Tell me about your baseball background. How did you get into playing, and how specifically did you end up wanting to be a pitcher?
When I was younger, I played multiple sports like hockey, basketball, baseball. But then when I got probably around middle school, I dropped everything, just became baseball. I hit and I pitched. And then once I got really to high school, I was like, I could actually make something out of this. So I just dropped the bat and focused on pitching. And then it's taken me here. So I hopefully just keeps taking me farther in this game, play as long as possible.
Well, and for you specifically, I mean, talking about dropping those other sports, how tough of a decision was that for you, and did it have any kind of impact?
Yeah, obviously, I dropped basketball right away because I really wasn't much of a shooter. So it basically came down to hockey and baseball. I still go to hockey games all the time, love that. But skating, I really wasn't the fastest. So then other kids got better than me, and then yeah, that was really it. Made my decision pretty easy.
Who's your hockey team, and where do you enjoy going to games?
Yeah, I like the New Jersey Devils. I'm a Devils fan. I love the Prudential Center. I love going to games with my dad, my family. It's just good times. They haven't won a lot lately, but hopefully soon.
Who's your favorite Devil of all time?
All time probably Jack Hughes. He's on the team right now.
And Jason, just to get away from baseball and enjoy another sport like that, what other kind of things do you enjoy away off the diamond?
Yeah, I obviously like just hanging out with my friends, probably going to the beach, just hanging out, having a good time, getting my mind off things. And yeah, like when I'm with them, yeah, just having fun.
What's the go-to beach activities?
Obviously we love the boardwalk, playing the games, basketball games, and then obviously more at the beach, like spike ball or just going in the water.
And now that you come here to Oneonta and you've had the opportunity to kind of get accustomed to the town here, what kind of things have you enjoyed away from Damascus?
Honestly, I've honestly liked my teammates a lot. They obviously give me a lot of advice and tips for what's going on in college, so that's what I like. Around the town, what I've been mostly doing, obviously there's a lot of places to eat, which I like that. The gym I've been doing. Haven't really done a lot much besides just like baseball in the gym. But yeah, it's pretty much it.
Though you're still fairly new to the squad,
Mhm.
how would you describe the experience of being an Outlaw and
Yeah,
playing here?
honestly, yeah, at first I really didn't know what to expect because I didn't know anyone coming up here. But honestly, I feel like when meeting baseball kids, it's honestly the easiest thing to just create a bond. And it's been 10 days, and I feel like I've known these kids for about like a month now, seeing them every day, and welcome me here, and I'm comfortable.
Now that you've had the opportunity to both take a start here at home and on the road,
Mhm.
how would you describe the experience of a game night at Historic Tomasky Field?
Yeah, honestly, it's a great night. Obviously, a lot of people come out, enjoy the game. Obviously, we want to be we want to win more games, but it's been great atmosphere with the fans, and competition's been good too.
In terms of personal goals for the rest of the summer, what do you have in mind?
Honestly, personal goals, I just want to keep competing out there on the mound. Obviously, want my velo to be up a little more. It's been down a little bit, and yeah, it's basically and just keep competing, keep getting better.
Jason, one last question here before I let you get back to it.
Mhm.
In terms of what you've been seeing from this team, what's really got to give to start racking up some wins here in July?
So I feel like when we lose, we've lost a couple close games that I feel like we could definitely win, and I feel like sometimes we beat ourselves with just maybe like errors or like sometimes in the pitching side. But then some games we're getting blown out and just not competitive. So we just gotta be more competitive and just make less mistakes, I would say.
Jason, thank you so much for your time. Good luck
Yeah,
tonight.
thank you guys.
Well, I was hoping that we could get to our coaches interview of the day with Outlaws head coach Keaton Mart, but it looks like we're going to roll right into things here. Outlaws and Lumberjacks, third time already here in 2025. Let's take a look at tonight's starter on the bump for Oneonta. From Garnersville, New York, it's going to be Logan Schul who gets the nod. And he has been pretty dang good, but hasn't been a long arm for this team in the early goings. His ERA is chilling at 2.57. 0-2 is his record. 3 starts, 3 appearances. And he's only finished 7 innings, surrendering 4 hits, 2 runs both earned. And he has walked 7 and struck out 7. Outlaws, this is the first meeting at home against Booneville here in 2025 after playing each of the first 2 on the road. They were rained out in Booneville's first trip here on Saturday, June 7th. We'll make that up later as the first pitch of the ball game right down the gut to Andy Perez, and we are underway on a Wednesday night in Oneonta. Booneville now sitting at 13-8, and they have won 2 in a row after taking that dub last night, and Perez dropping down in the count 0-2. They got a mercy run rule victory against the Glen Falls Dragons on Sunday at home by a 12-2 final in 8 innings. And then, of course, taking down the Outlaws yesterday by a 6-2 score. That one, bottom left corner of the zone for the first strikeout of the game. Logan Schul count it. And you like that? 3 pitches, 3 outs. Things going to be getting scary in Oneonta if Logan Schul can keep doing that. But Angel Santiago will come up next, and getting back to what I was saying again, 6-2 was your final score last night. It was the second time these 2 squads had met up in less than a week, so now 3 meetings in less than a week's time, not a weekend's time. That wouldn't make sense, but a week's time. And they will again meet up on Sunday at Booneville as a 1-hop to third, charging forward. Woodridge cross diamondabolic in time. That's a 5-3. Outlaws are locked in. So Angel Santiago, the shortstop for the Jats, 1 pitch, 1 out, and now just 4 pitches in. Chase Triplett, the designated hitter, will waltz up here for Booneville, and head coach Jay Gonzalez. Booneville, this is their 11th game on the road so far here in 2025. Gone 4-6 away from the home confines. Schul offering up a first pitch strike. Last year, this Lumberjacks team did not win in the final 12 games in 2024, went 0-9-1 over their last 10, as a matter of fact. Finished the season 10-28-1, is on a 1-hop. Schul again turns, low throw to Bollock in time. 1-2-3. We're all amazed. Bottom of the first inning coming up next. Outlaws work a 1-2-3, and they'll come to the plate, and we'll work you through the starting lineup when we come back. Back to Oneonta here on Outlaws YouTube. Let's now jump to our starting lineup, and that's a lot smaller than I would have envisioned. But everything doesn't seem to be going my way sometimes on certain nights, but you can get the gist here in your top left corner. Center fielder Dane Richards going to lead it off for Keaton Mark tonight. Zach Porter, the catcher, hits second, sliding up the lineup a bit despite his struggles last night. Jace Kohler going to be at short. Jack Clark is in right. Zach Rowe going to be in left field hitting fifth. Zach Robinson playing second base hit sixth. Connor Wading is the EH. Jameson Bollock, the first baseman who was involved in two of those plays in the top half of the inning, going to be in the 8-hole. Hugo Conhorst does the DH job, and then Thomas Woodridge is at third. So Keaton Mark opting to bat 10 here against the Boonville Lumberjacks tonight, and his reasoning for that was because this team hasn't been scoring runs, and that's just a fact. Again, you look at the numbers from these last couple of games, and, well, just one run on no hits against the Saugerty Stallions in that unfinished game on Guaranteed Win Night on Monday. You look at yesterday, I mean, sure, you hung around, you put 2 runs up there, but again, that's not going to be enough to win against a high-powered Boonville offense. Go back to Sunday, and I skipped a game in there, kind of going out of order here, but no runs, just 6 hits in Utica, and so, again, something's got to give, and so hopefully batting 10 can get some offensive production going as Dane Richards going to take strike one right down Main. Garrett DeHart getting the start on the hill tonight for the visiting Jats. He's 1-0 with 1 save, an ERA of 6.30. He started just one time, has 7 appearances as Richard Thatch one off foul, and he trails 0-2 in the count. DeHart's thrown 10 innings, surrendered 11 hits, 8 runs, 7 earned, and he has walked 10 and struck out 9. 0-2 pitch. Richards, right side, going to be just foul. Couple inches shy of that white-painted line. Josiah Aska very prideful about each and every game on each baseline when he has to fix it. Again, it's 0-2, and Richards in the leadoff spot tonight for this Oneonta team. Spot that he's had a couple of games in. Yesterday he was in the 2-hole, went 1 for 3 on the road. This one, just to the left of Keaton Mark over there is third base coach, foul. And so we'll try it again, and Richards is now 4 deep, still in an 0-2 count. He also drew 2 walks and had a punchy last night. Got caught stealing on a base pass in the 6th inning for the Laws as well. 0-2, bounced in front of the dirt. Well, not in front of the dirt, but in front of the plate and spiked up a bit. So 1-2. Matthew Irwin was pretty dang good on the hill last night for Boonville, starting things off. Went 5 innings for the Jats, got the victory on the hill, and he now has the most innings thrown on the Lumberjacks staff as Richards, the elevator shot pitch, lays off it, so it's a 2-2 count. Nice long at bat being worked here to start things off. Already 6 pitches in. Got shadows creeping over the entirety of the field here at Damaski. Is the 2-2. Straight up the middle, right side of the mound. Couple of rolls in the dirt, and the throw on the run. Santiago to Namala gets it done. And Dane Richards is retired. That's a 6-3 for out 1. So that's about as simple as it takes when you go fastball kind of uppity up in the zone. Dane Richards with a good swing on it, but just put it straight down into the ground. And Santiago fielded it pretty cleanly. This Lumberjacks team we mentioned in the pregame show, but they've had some struggles when it comes to fielding the baseball. Again, 5th in this Eastern Division in fielding percentage as Porter went rocketing for 1, and he'll trail in the count 0-1 already. They had 2 errors in that game last night, and when the Outlaws were up there in Booneville last Thursday as well, had 3 errors in that one. That one drifts tight to the knees, and Porter finds himself in a 1-1 count. We mentioned his struggles yesterday, 0 for 5 with 2 strikeouts as the DH last night up in Booneville. 1-1. And again, straight into the ground. Santiago charging on the run, fires high, but in time to Namala. And there's another 6-3, looking like the infield's going to be busy here for Booneville tonight. Let's look around the horn for Booneville. Behind the plate, it's Bo Jonas. First to third on the infield, they got Namala, Gonzalez, Santiago, and Perez is at the hot corner. From left to right in the outfield, it's Moran, Rodriguez, And in right is Resmondo. Jace Kohler will come up to the plate now here for head coach Keaton Mark. This Outlaw team still 3 more games to play following tonight against Booneville. Right here in the confines of Maskey Field, 2 of which will be played as part of a doubleheader, which will come on July the 14th. The other Booneville trip is actually next Tuesday, the 2nd, is both these squads getting a lot of each other here in a short period of time. Because, again, they'll play Sunday up in Booneville, and then Jets will get an off day, and they'll come here only on a Tuesday. Kohler trying to go right towards second, and that's caught on a liner. Looked pretty low, but Gonzalez got his mitt underneath it. That's a 1-2-3. Looking like a pitcher's duel if the early inning is any indication. Through 1, it's going to be an 0-0 score, and we'll go top 2 here in Oneonta on Outlaw YouTube. Top half of inning 2, back on Oneonta YouTube. Goose Eggs on the board for both sides, and Jats will bat 4-5-6 here against Logan Schul, who's been pretty dang good for this Outlaw team, as we said already. He gets a first pitch strike in the zone, and it looks like he's going to be aggressively hunting, trying to pop him in there, and hopefully mitts it up really well. Zach Porter, that's one thing that Coach Keaton, Coach Joe, and some of the pitchers have said. When he's behind the plate, he calls his game and gives his team a real solid chance to win. Not that any other catcher doesn't, but Zach Porter certainly stays really on top of it and kind of fights the good fight and calls what he thinks is going to get those strikes, as that's elevated just above the zone. And Porter looking like he was really trying to sell job it, but it's a 1-2 count. Again, we got shadows creeping over the entirety of the field here in Oneonta. Lights probably won't come on for another inning or 2 as Bo Jonas going to get rung up. Off speed from Schul. And 4 up, 4 down here for the Jats to start things off. So now Devin Moran, the left fielder, will come up. Boonville's batting 10 tonight. Only once all summer have they batted just 9. Coach Jay Gonzalez opting to try to give as many at-bats as possible here this summer. Boonville on the road tonight, going for those green tops with the yellow letters and yellow shoulders, got the white pants on. Is the 1-0, sneaks in back door, and the count rolls to a ball and a strike. Outlaws here at home tonight, going for the white tops, orange letters, orange numbers, black shoulders with the white pants. 1-1. Creeps in tight to the knees. 2-1. Coming up later on in this inning, we'll talk about the games in the PGCBL to keep an eye on tonight. A lot of action. Bunch of teams getting rained out yesterday or dealt with some weather delays, including most notably everybody was keeping an eye on that Stallions Mohawks doubleheader, and they only got one game in, played just 9 innings yesterday, and dealt with 2 rain delays over the course of that, even though Amsterdam does have turf, as this one rolled on the right side. Robinson, who draws back in tonight, fired it high, but got it there, and that's all that matters. So 5 up, 5 down to start things off. Robinson played Sunday in that game up in Utica. He's kind of been one of those guys, revolving door casts on the infield. When somebody needs a day, he draws in there. But again, as I was saying yesterday, 11-8 ended up being the final score in favor of the Mohawks. Travis Hobbins-Siefkin was kind of one of the stars of the night yesterday, and he's shellacked the Outlaws for some hits already this summer, but he put 2 lawn balls over the fence at Shuttleworth yesterday. Not something that too many guys in this league can say. Probably an early contender for Player of the Week. 0-1. Pops off the glove of Porter, and it goes to 1-1. Alex Rodriguez is going to be followed up by Akil Namala. Plays first. Miguel Gonzalez at second. Jacob Newland, the extra hitters in the 9th spot, and Mason Rosmondo is the right fielder, hitting 10th. Zach Porter looks like having some kind of equipment issue behind the dish here for Oneonta as he went back to the dugout. I don't know what's going on here, but again, this Lumberjack team now 13-8, and following this one tonight, they will go home to play Mohawk Valley, a doubleheader tomorrow, starting at 5:30. 4th of July, they'll go to Glens Falls at 7 o'clock as the Eastfield bunch getting a home game on the big Independence Day. Porter looks like needing a new glove. I guess that was the issue. Must be something happened with his lacing or webbing or whatever on his other one. See if we can get an answer on that later on. But, again, it's a 1-1 count. It's Rodriguez at the dish here for Booneville. Logan Schul looking pretty dang good early on. 5 up, 5 down. Trying to get back in a rhythm. 1-1 on the ground. Ball it. Fields clean. Takes it to the bag in time for the out. Logan Schul is perfect through 2 innings, and Outlaws are playing some pretty efficient baseball. They come to the plate, bottom 2. It's an 0-0 score here in Oneonta. Bottom of the second, back here on Laws YouTube. It's an 0-0 score, and Oneonta hoping to get the bat hot and crank into this thing early and get on the board against Garrett DeHart, who has struggled and not a guy who makes starts too often. One spike down off the opposite side chalk. Batter's box looking a little bit more prevalent here tonight than usual. Redrawn right before game time. Is that one going to sail upstairs? And Clark works ahead 2-0 in the count. Jonas behind the plate, and he's got a really nifty chest guard and shin pads tonight, rocking the little light blue, navy blue type stuff. definitely the color to wear. It sticks out really well on that Booneville green. 3-0 here early on Jack Clark. As DeHart turns and fires again. And that will creep in the zone for a called strike. So it's 3-1 as he went back to his fastball. Zach Rowe and Zach Robinson will be up behind Clark as he tipped one straight back into the screen behind the dish. And so it moves full. Clark will angle that left foot way up on the chalk line. Is the payoff. Straight up the middle in the center. That's the first hit of the night. Jack Clark starting things off. Leadoff base runner to open the second here for the Laws.
Approaching the plate for SUNY Oneonta, number 6, Zach Rowe.
So Zach Rowe going to come up next here for the Laws, and would be huge if you can find a way to get something in play, get on base. Just whatever you could do right about now is going to be huge for this team. They need sparks and need sparks in a big way. And a lefty swinger from SUNY Oneonta looking to do just that kind of role right now. Infielders will drift in. It looks like the bunt sign on, but the pitch missed its spot, and so it's a 1-0 count. Gonzalez back on a diagonal, cross behind second. Perez up on the grass at third as Rowe goes off towards the light pole and left with that foul. Lawn fly ball foul, and the count here is now 1-1. Rowe has an average of 207 in the 14 games he's played. Knocked in 3, scored 3 runs, also has a stolen base, and as we say all so often, the one thing about him that really sticks out, he's a two-way guy for this Outlaw team. Got a couple of guys on Saugerties who do it both ways. On Amsterdam, we got a couple of guys, but when push comes to shove, it's usually pretty rare. Once you get to the collegiate level, you do it both ways. 2-1 off it. And Rowe checking his swing, but didn't go, and so it's 3-1. Quite often as family in attendance here at home games, and always nice to see the Outlaw parents supporting. 3-1. Spiked in the dirt. That's ball 4. And that's back-to-back base runners for Oneonta here to start the second. Can't let the Laws get hot, because this is a team who's been looking to get hot for way too long. Now Zach Robinson. Second baseman out of Gardner-Webb.
Number 48, Zach Robinson.
Got to do something to keep this half inning going, and you can tell Boonville already starting to feel the stressors. DeHart and Jonas had a mound visit in front of that brand new dirt here at Damaski. Robinson showing the bunt, put it right behind the plate, and they do call foul, and so he'll have to try it again. And you already know that that bunt sign's going to be on, and Rowe and Clark are going to have to be moving. And this bunt is going to have to be perfect if he wants to try it again. Perez at third and Amal at first, so 2 corner infielders who play some strong ball both sides. Oh, 1. That one bounces away from Jonas to the backstop. Talk about command issues in a moment where it matters. So, wild pitch advances Clark to third. Zach Rose at second, and the Outlaws could be going for a lead here in the early goings. Namala will drift up on the edge of the grass here on the infield. Perez starting to do the same over at third. 1-1. Going to break in just a bit high and away. And Robinson gets ahead 2-1. Outlaws tomorrow following this one going to get a much needed off day as they've now following this one have played 10 games over the course of the last 9 days, is the 2-1. Going to sail upstairs, 3-1. And following tomorrow, it's going to get no easier, though. They're going to play 12 straight days and have a doubleheader sandwich in that stretch, so 13 games in 12 days. The dog days of July really hit hard. 3-1. Misses low, ball 4. And there's going to be 3 dots on a pond for the Outlaws with still nobody out. That's exactly what you want. And Connor Waiting going to be up in a massive spot. Waiting this summer at home is only potted 1 hit, but it was a big one. He had a resounding 2 RBI double over the left center gap when the Mohawks were here, their first trip to Oneonta. He lays off one down and away and gets ahead 1-0. Waiting the extra hitter tonight in Keaton March lineup as he gets plunked on the elbow. The fastball from DeHart crept up and in. And he will drop the bat as the run does score. And the Outlaws a 1-0 lead. So Rao goes to third. Robinson to second. Waiting's at first. And even though it sucks to have your first run come courtesy of some pain, you take it how you can get it. And now it's Jameson Bollock. Ball at first pitch swing and connect straight up the middle. Rowe scored. The send sign's on for Robinson. He'll come to the plate and score. And the Outlaws a 3-0 lead here early against the Jacks. It's a pair of RBIs for Jameson Bollock, and he doubles his RBI total with 1 swing of the bat. And still, ladies and gentlemen, may I remind you, there is nobody out in the second inning. Waiting goes to second. Bollock's at first. And now Hugo Cohnhorst going to look to keep this party going. That one creeps low, and Cohnhorst will work ahead 1-0. Cohnhorst having an off night yesterday after drawing in up there Sunday at Utica. Shoot one straight back, and so the count's going to be 1-1. He's played in 10 games for the Laws this summer, started all 10, and his average is sitting at just a 156. Got 5 hits in 32 tries. 2 of his hits have come here at home. As that one shot away foul, and it goes to 1-2. And the reason why you look at that and say, man, that's pretty nice that you got 2 hits at home. Well, this Outlaw team still has not played a lot of baseball here at home. 1-2. Drifts towards the belt, 2-2. This is just home game number 8 tonight. And this squad has played 14 away from the confines of Damaski Field, just one of which has been a victory, which came back half of a doubleheader last Sunday in Utica. 2-2, going to be a called strike 3. As Garrett DeHart creeping one lower outside quadrant. Get the call. So Thomas Woodridge with 1 down and still 2 on, going to come on up. Woodridge recently having committed to Monroe Community College after leaving Wofford. As I've talked about quite a few times already this summer, he redshirted his freshman year and got a bright future ahead of him, hoping he can go there for just a year. Might end up having to go 2, you never know, but his plan's just a year. And then following that, transfer to a D1 or D2, get another go at it, and hopefully play some big innings and be a part of a winning program. It's just about what every guy dreams of when they're looking for a new spot for ball, is to go to a winning program and be a building block on a team. Oh, what? Down low in the dirt. And Woodridge finds it even at 1-1. His average is just 184, 12 games, 11 of them starts, 7 for 38 at the dish with 1 ribby, 3 walks and 9 Ks. One with both base runners dancing off. Came straight down, looking like he was trying to go bowling, but didn't get enough roll and spin on it. DeHart's really struggling with his command on the road here in Oneonta early. First base side of the rubber, the 2-1. Woodridge, right side, picked up by Namal. The turn to second, Gonzalez going to eat it and not fire at bat, so they just get the 1. That's going to be a 3-6. Was waiting for the spin to make sure we didn't call that wrong for you. So 3-6 to retire Bollock. Waiting, scoots over to third. Woodridge will be on first, courtesy of a fielder's choice. And Dane Richards going to look to keep it going. A very promising inning for Oneonta. That at the very least you get the 3 runs, but it would certainly be nice to tack on a couple more here and keep things alive with a 2-out rally. Woodridge on the run. The throw down and the slap tag on is in time. So Santiago lays it down. 2-6 caught stealing to nail Woodridge. Richards will be back at the plate when we return. Bottom third to the dish, but Oneonta is going to go to the field here in the top half of inning 3, leading this thing by a 3-0 score. Back here to Oneonta, top half of inning 3, and we will wipe that away here for you. Outlaws plating 3 in the bottom half of inning 2. Got singles from Jameson Bollock and Jack Clark, and Bollock's was the resounding one as he knocked in 2. Akel Namala, Miguel Gonzalez, and Jacob Newland are the 3 to swing here for the Lumberjacks this inning. Is this one bombed into shallow center? That's the first hit against Logan Schul tonight and breaks up his perfect bid. So after the Outlaws plate 3 runs in the top half of the inning, Boonville strikes right back with a hit.
At the plate from Florida Southwestern, number 9, Miguel Gonzalez.
Going to try to get themselves in business in any way possible. Lumberjacks last summer did struggle here in Oneonta. Only won 1 of their 4 trips down here to Damascus. This one swatted off the glove of Bollock. He scoots to the bag, flips the high throw to second. Kohler slaps the tag on. Bang! What a play by Jameson Bollock. He lost his sunglasses and all, but gets it done to flip a 3-6 double play.
Number 12, Jacob Newland.
So that erases the leadoff single. And that's some great ball right there by the Outlaw Hudson Valley Community College first baseman. Jacob D. Newland, the extra hitter, going to take a high strike call, and it's 0-1. As I was saying, for this Outlaw team, off day tomorrow, and then they have a very busy, very active weekend, both on the field and off the field this coming weekend. It's our family weekend here in Oneonta. It's 4th of July. We got our Outlaw 5K, as you already saw the graphic for. There's going to be so much going on over the course of the next couple of days, so tomorrow going to be a much-needed rest day for everybody. Newland now going to be in two-strike approach, and Logan Schul needs just one more to get out of the inning. Friday against the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs, our only 6 o'clock home start of the year on Big Bang Boom and Balloon Night. And we'll have fireworks to follow the game about 9:15, 9:30 or so. 1-2. Cool, strike 3, and Schul gets out of the inning. Jameson Bollock and Logan Schul is off speed. And another quick inning here for the Laws. Middle of 3 here on Oneonta YouTube, and Outlaws cooking tonight. It's a 3-0 score.
Our next game.
Is up from first as he's on the edge of the grass. 2-0. And Porter hammered out into left field, diving to the ground, lost the hat 4. Tagging from third comes Connolly. Outlaws tie this thing up as it's a sac fly from Zach Porter. Bottom of the third here at historic Tomaski Field, and Dane Richards in the top of the Outlaw lineup back up. Richards grounded out 6-3 to start the ball game, and he will be seeing a new arm for Boonville, who offers up a first pitch strike. Garrett DeHar only concludes 2 innings of work, 2 hits, 3 runs, all 3 earned. Walks 2, strikes out 1, and hits 1 is his final line. This one bounced in the dirt, and Porter over there rolling some big practice hats here for the Outlaws. One. Richards to the left side of the infield, charging at Santiago on the run, put it into the dirt, and Richards lays it out. It's an infield single here for Dane Richards.
Zach Porter.
So Dane Richards lays one out, rolling to the left side of the infield, and Some good stuff right there. Like to see Dane putting bat on ball, and this whole Outlaw team looks like the energy is up and the energy is there tonight in the early goings. Zach Porter takes one, drifted in, so it's ball one. Porter grounding out 6-3 back in that first inning, just as Richards did. And right about now, you want anything except a ground ball. Big swing and a miss. Doesn't have a hit in each of the last 2 games for the Laws. Trying to snap that streak tonight. Puts a lot of pressure on himself to deliver good performances, and certainly needs to as well. Quick checklet to first, 1-1. And the break and stuff won't creep in there as it rolls to 2-1. Let's look at Anthony Schatz's numbers from the season so far. He's 1-0, 2.45 ERA, 6 appearances. 11 innings thrown, 7 hits, 6 runs, 3 earned. He's walked 11 and struck out 9. As he gets Porter reaching for a fastball, and it rolls to 2-2. Again, Richards is at first. Nobody out here, bottom 3. Outlaws have already potted 3 to take the lead in this one. Two. And Porter lays off. Had quite a drop to it as the count moves full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Short lead off first, and Porter going to go pulling for off speed. He'll be retired, and he starts 0 for 2. So Zach Porter. I mean, the swings were there, just the connections weren't there. He's a little bit late on some of these pitches. He'll clean that up, though, and he'll be just fine. Jace Kohler lined out to second to end the first inning. Laws went down 1-2-3 in that opening frame. On the run goes Dane Richards, and the throw airmailed into center field. He won't go, though. The slide is Gonzalez. Kind of came right down on Richards' head. You never like to see that. But he does get the bag. So that's what you do like. In scoring position now with 1 out. And one of the big struggles for this team has been cashing in runners in scoring position. So you got to hope that this doesn't get left for granted. Love to tack on some more runs and keep this lead rolling. 1-1 count. Richards, still a short dancing lead, is the 1-1. Bulleted down low, 2-1. Jace Kohler entering this one tonight, leading the Outlaws in team batting average. Second behind him is his teammate, Jet Clark, out of High Point, both part of that strong freshman class. At HPU, Richards dancing lead, and he almost forced a balk as Anthony Schatz had just about come in motion, but not going to get it. Two-1, going to come just above the shoelaces, and it rolls to 3-1. Schatz working straight away here on the rubber. And steps off. Won't force a throw, though. Dane Richards is speedy for the Outlaws over there. He's always testing opposing teams. And you certainly want to do what you can to test a team who's got some major league roots to it. 3-1. Bouncer on the ground to third. Perez checking the runner. Airmailed the throw, but Namala, the nice stretch, yanked it out of the air. So 5-3. Kohler is retired, and there's 2 down.
First, number 27, Jack Clark.
Jack Clark singled to open up the second inning, and that really got the Outlaw bats hot. Ended up coming around to score, was the first Outlaw run. His first one to him, going to sneak in the zone for a called strike, and he'll fall behind 0-1. Richards dancing off the bag, 0-1. Comes in there for a called strike 2, and quickly Jack Clark finds himself in a 2-strike hole. Outlaws Friday, it's a matchup with the Diamond Dogs. Saturday, they once again play the Stallions here at home. Before Sunday is that next road trip to Booneville for the 3rd time already, and then there'll be just 1 trip to Booneville left, which comes in the regular season's final week. 0-2, and Clark going to pump it off foul. At last week of the regular season, Outlaws are going to get pretty fortunate compared to most teams. They'll have 2 off days before playing their final 2 games. It's a back-to-back off days. I think it ends up being Saturday, Sunday. So it'll be a weird weekend. So we're just about at the end, but still got 2 games to go after 2 days without anything. 0-2. Tight to the knees. Ball in 2 strikes. Schatz is going to throw a new ball towards Jonas. And so they'll exchange because there's no way Schatz was going to fire that one. Still really impressed by that blue Jonas gear behind the plate. That blue really popping. Whereas that at East Texas Baptist as well. 1-2. That'll chink a pull behind the plate. Zach Rowe, the do-it-all 2-way for the Outlaws, retrieving it and throwing it to the dugout. Sun's disappeared behind the clouds. Not too much of a sight of it left. Supposed to be a rainy day around Oneonta tomorrow, but then picture-perfect weather for 4th of July and our July 5th 5K in game. Clark, a towering shot out towards right, taking a couple of stutter steps in. Resmondo hauls it down, and that ends the inning. So we'll talk more about 4th of July this coming weekend and all things Outlaws when we come back, but it's no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on. Into the 4th we go here at historic Damaski Field. It is a 3-0 Outlaw score. Top of the fourth, back here on Outlaw YouTube, and Logan Schulz going for the longest start of his Outlaw tenure as of yet. Faces 10-1-2 in the lineup is Mason Resmondo taking a called first strike. Resmondo is a pretty good outfielder, a lot of pop in his bat, speedy in the corners, plays left and right. In his high school days, did a lot of pitching as well, but has since transitioned over to fully playing the outfield grass. 0-2's your count, and on the ground, past Jace Kohler, rolls into shallow center for a base knock. So for the second straight half inning after Logan Schulz is perfect through 2, Boonville gets a leadoff base runner, and it'll be top of the lineup for Andy Perez to waltz up next.
Number 5, Andy Perez.
Perez has really taken over that leadoff spot and run with it for Coach Jay Gonzalez. He's hitting .333, and this Boonville team as a whole is hitting .280 thus far. You look at the benchmarks they got Chase Triplett, 16 games. He's hitting .500. You got Moran, 419 through 11. Santiago's hitting .392 through 17. Bo Jonas, .375. Elijah Hurt, .364. Perez, with a .333, and then the drop-off starts to come. You got McKay with a .282, Newland a .261, and then a lot of guys under .250, but still, Boonville, a lot of guys who are swinging pretty dang good wood bats here to start the summer. 2-1 on Perez. Schul fires. This one skied up a mile high. Schul's going over. Bollock as well, and Bollock waved him off and has the out. A lot to be excited about here for Oneonta so far tonight.
Number 2, Angel Santiago.
And now Angel Santiago and Outlaws going to continue to stay in double play depth, hoping they can get Schul to get a ground ball and get out of this half inning. His pitch count is still very low through 4, so got to think he might even come out here for a 5th inning because Oneonta's bullpen is dead as doornails right now. Out one. Foul ball, left sideline.
Victor, coming to you. Coming to you.
Santiago grounded out 5-3 in the first inning. Is the 0-1. In the zone for a called strike 2. Second and third both open, and again, sun's gone away here in Oneonta, but still a great night for baseball. One of the cooler home games that we've had here as of recently. Down and away, it runs 1-2. Nothing wrong with a little bit of a cooler night. Yesterday up in Boonville, did kind of cool off for a little while when rain came, and for a while didn't even know if we were going to get that game in last night on the road. As gets away from Porter, chugging and running a second, whereas Mondo going to get there. So score that as a wild pitch. Santiago in a 2-2 count with one away. Behind Santiago, they're hoping they can get Chase Triplett up. Triplett with that .500 batting average through 16 games is the 2-2. And it's going to find some trees. At least there's not as many trees around here as there is in Booneville. You go up on that hill in Booneville, and it's just trees and trees and trees, and then there's a baseball field just plopped in the middle of them. It's a very unique setup, to say the least, but the Lumberjacks do draw well. Have a great fan experience up there, and it was certainly fun to be up there for second time last night. They do a great job trying to get the community involved, and the energy at their home games is unmatched here in our division. Their owner, Butch Russo, does a great job at steering a good ship up there. So, Butch, if you're watching, just want to give you a shout out. That's just barely going to miss off the plate, and the count goes full. Lumberjacks with 2 hits in this one so far. Both of them have been singles and have started off each of the last 2 half innings. A tapper just over Schul's head. Diving. Robinson can't get there. The stop sign on at third. Rosmondo pumping the brakes. So it will be runners at the corners. That's the 3rd hit, though, of the night for the Jats. As Santiago going to be 1 for 2.
Now batting from Seminole State College, number 10.
So it's 1st and 3rd for the visitors with 1 away. And Chase Triplett, who's 1 for 3, settling on in. Jace Kohler back off on an angle behind second. As Schul offers. And there's high heat for a called strike 1. Looks like Jacob Turner starting to get himself stretched out in the bullpen and left here for the Laws. He got a shout out on our pregame interview from Coach Keaton Mart today, talking about how good and how efficient he's been starting off the summer. Oh, what? Another ground ball. Robinson turns, flipping it to Kohler. Backdoor to Bullock. In time. 4-6-3. Gets him out of the inning. Santiago's forced out as the first part. Triplett the back half. And bottom 4 is coming up next here at Tomaski Field. The Laws are on the lot tonight. And Boonville stranding their first base runner of the evening. Again, bottom 4 next up, and it is 3-0. Oneonta. Bottom 4 here in Oneonta, and for the Laws, it's going to be 5-6-7. Schatz is back out for another inning of work after closing the door in the 3rd, and he misses low with ball 1. Zach Rowe walked, advanced to second on a wild pitch, and scored a run in that 2nd inning for Oneonta that carried on for quite some time. Got those 3 runs, the only 3 runs you see on the scoreboard as of now. Two 0 from Schatz, drops down low. And Rowe working ahead 3-0. Schatz out of the stretch position, despite nobody on the base path, fires, and Rowe showed bunt, and the pitch missed low. So it's ball 4. Outlaws with a leadoff base runner for the 3rd consecutive half inning. Zach Robinson going to try to do a job and keep things going. Robinson walked and scored a run in that 2nd inning, the last Outlaw run to score. Would love to see some insurance get potted up there and continue to see this one grow. Rowe goes on the run as that one's fouled off. So Robinson drops down on the count 0-1. Let's take a look, though, before we go too far at the BGCB out-of-town scoreboard, if my computer will load. And it's a little slow, so I apologize. Robinson, taser beam off foul, so 0-2. Some big games around the league last night, including that exhibition between Buffalo and Batavia. Is a couple of bounces, the spin, Gonzalez back across the diamond, Santiago, and Amalo doesn't sell it. So they only get the one, as it'll be a 4-6 to snap out Zach Rao. Robinson reaching on the fielder's choice, so now there's one on, but with one out. Now they got this loading. All right. So, top of the 5th inning, Falcon Park in Auburn. Double Days leading the Pioneers 5-2. Bottom 5 at Dwyer and Batavia. Muckdogs a 4-1 lead over visiting Niagara. Robinson's on the run. Bo Jonas the late throw. Down to second. Robinson got his foot in there. So he nabs the bag and moves himself to scoring position with just one out. Top of the 6th inning at Colburn Park in Newark. It is a 2-1 lead over the Red Wings for the Pilots. Top of the 6th at Shuttleworth. Mohawks are trailing the Blue Sox 2-0. And also, last but not least at all, Saugerties in a tight one against Glens Falls at Canton. It's 3-2 Ponies at this point. 1-0. And that one taken off the plate, ball 2. So waiting, continuing to be ultra patient up there at the plate. The Canisius Prohit dropped in a red shirt this year after missing some time due to injury. As he connects one. Shallow center, drifting back, it's caught by Gonzalez. So P4, and there's 2 away for Jameson Bollock, who had the big hit of this one. He had that 2 RBI single in the 2nd inning. They added some offense. We got a question here in our YouTube chat. What time's the game on Friday? Well, again, Friday night, our only 6 p.m. start time of the year here in Oneonta. It's Big Bane Boom and Blue Night around Ewell Park all day. There's going to be a bunch of activities going on. There's going to be food vendors. There's going to be games. And then free admission to the Laws game that night, sponsored by 5-Star Subaru. You're not going to want to miss it. And here in the ballpark, one of the better angles in Center City to catch the fireworks show in the aftermath. So come spend your 4th of July with us here at the Outlaws. As Bollett's 0-1, blasted off foul. So it's 0-2. Again, that's a 6 p.m. start on Friday. Following the off day tomorrow, we're playing Mohawk Valley. And got to try to snap that curse of the Diamond Dogs sometime. 3 hits apiece for each side as we're in the bottom half. Inning 4 here in Oneonta. Schatz for the pitch, and Bollett, the fastball, foul ball. Just cranked it up that third base line and foul ground. Oh, 2. Bollock. That one gets over the press box, gets out to the parking lot, and goes for a roll. I wish when I teed off on the golf course my ball could roll like that. Robinson about a quarter of the way towards third is the 0-2. Going to break in high. It's 1-2. Following Bollock, Hugo Conors would come up next here for the Outlaws if he can find a way to get on. Gotta think that Shantz might go one more inning. As Robinson goes 1-2. Jonas, the throw to third, but won't get it there. So Balla takes the low ball 2. Robinson steals a pair of bags. And he was certainly a favorite to steal a lot of bases this summer for the Outlaws, and he's showing tonight why he's got some good speed in those legs and was thought to be a candidate for so. 2-2. Out towards left center, chugging over in the gap off the glove. It gets caught. Rodriguez certainly made it look like there was a shot there for Pollock to get a deep hit, but instead it's a fly out to center field. So Zach Robinson gets stranded at third. It'll be no runs, no hits, no errors, and one left on. And top 5 we go here in Oneonta. It remains a 3-0 Oneonta score. The University of Central Florida products will start things off for Boonville as we bring it back here to Oneonta. Lights coming on. Owner Gary Lane just going and flipping the switch, and so we'll be playing under the lights the rest of the night. 0-1 to Jonas, going to creep up and in, and the count rolls to a ball and a strike. Logan Schul back out there for a 5th inning of work. His pitch count just 42 after 4, so hopefully it can go one more and continue to save this bullpen. Be huge go into that off day tomorrow, only having to use maybe 2-3 arms tonight. Because you got to think Heinz Schul, probably the next option is Jacob Turner, who you already saw starting to get warm. Got Denton available tonight. Burciaga's available. Dangler's available. A lot of guys who are available, but a lot of arms you'd like to save. Probably the plan, in talking to Keaton off the record a little bit, but, I mean, it's not too much of a secret. Martin Thorsland looking to get the ball probably on Friday, and if not, he'll get the ball Saturday. But 4th of July, you got to think he's going to the Thorman here at home. Deep towering fly ball to the left. Couple of steps back and caught by Zach Rowe. So he yanks one down, and there's one away for Devin Moran. Devin Moran, a 4-3 ground out in the 2nd inning. And now he swings it for the 2nd time. As the bullpen continuing to be quiet after Turner kind of started to get a little loose there in the 4th. Boonville's bullpen in right field also quiet here at the moment. 1-0 from Schul, and straight back to the match. Goes to 1-1. Moran rocking that hot pink arm guard here at Historic Tomaski Field tonight. That'll drift in there for a called strike 2. Schule's been filling it up and has been floating around. This one rolling up the line, curves into foul territory. And so we'll have to go for it again. So it will be 1-2. Apologies about our scoreboard there. Just got that fixed for you. 1-2. Towards third on a bounce. Gets over the head of Woodridge and rolls into left. Massive turnaround first for Moran. Well, he stops there. So that'll be a single for Moran. The 4th hit of the night for Boonville. And now you hope that you can find a ground ball and get out of the half inning on a double play. That one lasered backward foul. So it's 0-1. Rodriguez had a 3 unassisted ground out in the 2nd inning. Schule turning and looking to first. Is the 0-1 showing bunt. And Porter holding on to it. It's at 1-1. You do got Woodridge drifting in from third. Kohler's positioned back on the edge of the dirt. So's Robinson up the middle. Bollick holding the runner over here in Moran. It's the 1-1. And Schule somehow getting that strike call. Love to see it, bit elevated. But it's 1-2. This one towards third. Woodridge bobbles it, turns, picks it up, and he's not going to have a throw. That should be an E5. So Moran getting down to second, Rodriguez to first, and that's the first E of the day for either side. And that's going to be a little frustrating. Akil Namala, he's singled in the 3rd inning, starting off the frame. Boonville's been pretty good at getting base runners on in the middle stages. Is this one going to be in there for a called strike? Oh, what? And again, Schule going to look back behind him as that one drifts up towards the elbow. And it's 1-1. Behind Namala, it is Miguel Gonzalez, who represents the 8th spot in the lineup. And then got Newland and Rosmondo rounding things up. Schule turning and looking around. Big swing and a miss. And needs to tee up one more of those. Get a punchy. That would be nice. That one will drift up high. Namala stepping out, and it looks like there's something going on. There's our first base coach for Booneville. Needing a new helmet. Very rare you see the equipment malfunction by a base coach. 2-2. Swung on and missed. Logan Schule tees him up. And now there's 2 away.
Walking to the plate from Florida Southwestern, number 9, Miguel Gonzalez.
Miguel Gonzalez grounded into a 3-6 double play back in the 3rd as that one creeps in there for a called strike. Even with that error by Woodridge, Law's defense has been on lock tonight so far with 2 double plays flipped. Schul looking at both base runners as the 0-1. Going to be just a smidge high. It's at 1-1. Boonville 13-8, and they're still creeping up there in the division, hoping that they can track down Amsterdam some way, somehow. They've already beaten the Mohawks once and got a couple more meetings against them, too. Slides low, and Porter keeping it in front of him, so it's 2-1. Newland is waiting in the on-deck circle, struck out to end the 3rd inning. He does have a bat that's looking to get rolling here and get some more energy into it. 2-1. In the zone for a called strike 2, and now Logan Schul needs just one more of those. Bullpen still totally quiet and left for Oneonta at the moment. Trying to keep that goose egg intact. Schul's pitch. Fouled off. Gonzalez plays Lumberjack and chopped that one away. That one not going to come in the zone. So the count's full here with 2 outs. Logan Schul has pay off both base runners go. Is this one on the ground? Charging it, pops off the glove of Kohler and rolls into left. Devin Moran has scored, and Rodriguez stops at 3rd, and so that, no doubt about it, going to be a run and an E. So Jace Kohler will shake it off, but the damage is done. So Moran has scored. Rodriguez goes to 3rd. Boonville's got runners at the corners with 2 outs. And that'll be an unearned run. So at least Logan Schul not going to have that one charged as an earned run to his line because he would have gotten out of the inning. That one down off the plate. Newland did strike out looking in the 3rd, as I mentioned already. No matter what happens the rest of the way in this one, Outlaws tonight certainly going to be one of the highlights thus far on the summer. Just crazy to think with the rep that this Lumberjack team has. 1-0. Bombed out in the air towards left center, going back for a run. Zach Rowe falls over his head and he tumbles down. Alex Rodriguez has scored, rounding 3rd. Here comes Miguel Gonzalez, and just like that, we're all tied up at 3. Jacob Newland comes up with a massive 2-out, 2 RBI double. And now Mason Rismondo going to come up, and all of a sudden the Outlaws will get somebody up and starting to get loose and left. After the Outlaws had that 3-run lead just like that, scrap it away, a whole new ball game, and you hope it can stay like that with half of it to go. Rismondo did single in the 4th inning, starting off the frames. Again, Boonville has had a leadoff base runner in each of the last 3 innings. 0-1. Going to sail on in there, called strike 2. Lights are beaming and blasting high here at Tomaski Field. Logan Schul, you really need a strike here. 0-2. Towards right, goes foul. So we'll try it again. Slow tapper, gonna curve foul as Woodridge charged it. So 0-2, and Logan Schul trying to do a job one more time. This is probably going to be the end of his outing. That one straight backwards, and Rismondo's now seen 4, and has fouled off each of the last 2. This one shot towards Kohler. He ranges left and throws it over to Bollock in time. So 6-3, Rismondo's retired. Boonville, though, pots 3 runs on 3 hits, 1 error, and strands 1. We're halfway home here in Oneonta, and just like that, it's a brand new ball game. 3-3 score. Back here to Oneonta, bottom 5. Anthony Schatz back in there as Conors swings right through the first one, and he'll trail 0-1. Conors did strike out looking in his first trip to the dish back in the 2nd inning. Took 5 pitches to do so. He was still facing Garrett DeHart at the time, as I'm having a hard time spitting out words. It's been a long day. Who was in at the time. DeHart only went 2 innings. Starting off the game, 3 runs, all 3 were earned, and each of them came in the 2nd inning. And Conors, that's a backwards K for the 2nd time up. Anthony Schatz, it's the 2nd strikeout he's got. The other was Zach Porter in the 3rd inning. But Monroe Community College product Thomas Woodridge now going to try to do a job. Find a way to get on base and get the energy back in the Outlaw dugout. That one came low. Woodridge reached on a fielder's choice back in the 2nd inning. Bollock was forced out, 3-6. It was kind of a weird play. He put one on the right side of the infield. Namala charged it, and instead of going to the bag and getting that sure out, he turned, spun to 2nd. Luckily got the out there for Booneville's sake. And so that's how Bollock was retired, and now that play went down. 1-1. Down low. Good leave there by Woodridge, making it 2-1. This Lumberjack team probably going to try to conserve arms as much as possible tonight, knowing that they got a doubleheader on tap tomorrow against the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs. That one just missing low, and you hope for the Outlaws' sake that can benefit them, get the off day tomorrow, playing in a tight game here with Booneville tonight, hopefully get them to use some arms and maybe kind of play the long game out this week. Go for that win hardcore tonight. Force Booneville to use some arms, and Mohawk Valley to burn a bunch tomorrow as that in the shallow center. Woodridge has got a base hit, but force the Diamond Dogs to use a lot of arms tomorrow with some weird force kind of power, even though Star Wars Night is come and gone here at Tomaski Field. But if they can use a bunch of arms and you can get the Diamond Dogs here gassed on Friday, maybe get a 4th of July win. 4th of July win would be nice. Get Saugerties here Saturday and then go back to Booneville again on Sunday to face a hopefully tired Lumberjacks team by then. They are off Saturday, though, after going to Glens Falls on Friday. Jekyll to first. Woodridge on the run. Jonas bumbles the ball and drops it down. He gets the bag. He was caught stealing earlier on, so nice to see Tommy get one on that. But it's a 1-0 here on Dane Richards. Schatz keeping a close eye behind him. This is the 1-0. Richards up behind the plate. Stays in the ballpark, too. Some of these balls you just never know till they land where they're going. Schatz taking his sweet old time. Now steps off. Forces Woodridge to go dancing back to the bag. One, and Woodridge is going on the ground towards short to one. Hop Santiago. Low and bounces away from Namala. So that'll be the first error of the game on the Lumberjacks.
Now batting from Wofford Unit.
As it will be an E3.
Porter.
So 1st and 30 here for the Laws with still just one out. Zach Porter with the middle open. Sails low, ball one. Porter sits 3 ground out in the first inning, strikeout swinging in the third. And now Richards goes on the run as this one past the outstretched glove of Gonzalez. Woodridge has scored. Ball gets bobbled all the way to third goes Dane Richards. That's an RBI. Porter's streak is over, and the Laws are back on top. It's 4-3.
5-point University. Number 28, Chase Kohler.
So Zach Porter snaps a streak, gets a ribby. Woodridge scores. Richards goes to third as Rodriguez had a hard time handling it. So you got to think the load isn't going to be too much longer for Schatz if this keeps up. They got somebody starting to get hot in their pen. Again, you just need a ground ball if you're Schatz. Had a couple opportunities to get one, just haven't had a nice bounce to get a turn. Flip one, sits 4-3, 4-6-3. Outlaws have definitely been on the better side of things defensively tonight in that respect. Oh, Kohler swatted down by Schatz. He turns, bombs the throw to first in time. 1-3, Kohler's going to be retired. That was Very aggressive, very good stuff from Schatz to get a glove on it and know that he kind of had a little bit of range.
Number 27, Jack Clark.
Jack Clark with 2 in scoring position. First pitch swing in and put it up foul. Outlaws got second and third here with 2 away. Behind Jack Clark, it is Zach Rowe to come up next if he can find a way to get on. Oh and 1. And that takes a nice drop for a called strike. Clark will be in 2-strike approach. 0-2. Clark right side, couple of bad skips. Gonzalez to Namala. And that ends it 4-3. The Outlaws, though, they get another run. They get back in the score column. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 error. They strand 2. And top 6 we go. It will be 10 and then top for Boonville when we come back.
6 p.m. for
Logan Schul, his day's not done yet, so don't stop the presses. Logan Schul back out for a 6th inning. He did give up the 3 spot, but again, 2 of those runs end up being unearned. For Boonville, this squad has been piecing together some pretty good baseball as Perez ropes it into left for a base hit. Woodridge kind of dived for it, but
number 2.
when a ball is blasted like that on the ground, unless you get a really good read on it, there's no way you're going to come up with it. So you got to give him the benefit of the doubt there, despite having one of the errors to his name. That pitch going to drift down and away to Santiago, and it's a 1-0 count. He grounded out 5-3 in the first inning, singled, and was forced out 4-6 as the first part of a 4-6-3 double play. Chase Triplett grounded into to end that same half inning. As I've said, this defense kind of been on lock tonight. You look at the 2 errors, and you're like, man, that kind of stinks. That's not the best night, but 2 double plays, something this team has only done 1 other time in a game so far this summer, is the 1-0. Carries high into the night out in left center. Going to drop and roll to the 5-star Subaru, and Depot Banners in the gap. Waved around from third. Andy Perez is cruising to the plate. Chugging to third. Santiago standing up. And Boonville, just like that, ties it up at 4.
At the plate from Samuel State College, number 10.
Santiago didn't seem like he was even moving too quick. Just kind of went for a jog as Keaton Mark's going to come out of the dugout, and that's going to end Logan Schull's night right there. So he'll be responsible for Santiago at third. Outlaws make a call to the bullpen when we come back. Top half inning, it's Outlaws. Got another runner on base paths. Angel Santiago, they got to deal with him. Jacob Turner comes out of the bullpen. He is Logan Schull's runner, so Logan Schull, line on him isn't closed as of yet, but he does allow 7 Booneville hits, 4 runs. At this point, 3 of those being earned. And he ends up walking just 1 and finishes the night with 4 punchies. 2-0 on Chase Triplett, who, as I've mentioned a couple of times, leading this team by a landslide in batting average, had a 500 entering the night. 6.61 is ERA for Jacob Turner. He started 2 games, has appeared in 8. This one carries off foul. 16 and a third innings, 22 hits, 14 runs, 12 earned, with 10 walks and 14 Ks. Turner in his last pitching appearance, it was actually up at Booneville, went 4 innings, 10 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned, and he got 3 Ks, but also walked 3. Quickly goes 3-1 here on Triplett. This one will go off towards left and foul territory, so it counts full. Woodridge went for a run trying to find that ball. He's always a lot of range over there. Deep shot out in the center, and that one died a bit, gets caught. Richards going to get the throw in quick on a one-up to the dish, but the run scores. It's a sac fly Chase Triplett, and Booneville takes the lead 5-4. So Bo Jonas back to the plate. He's over for 2. So Logan Schul's line will be complete. 5 runs, 3 of them earned. And he would be on tap for the loss at this point. Gotta hope you can change that, flip that script. Jonas gonna take one in high. And it's a 1-0 count. Turner kicks and fires. And that one swung right through on a fastball. One. Drops low off the plate, 2-1. Big delivery on that one. Comes low, 3-1. It's been a hot second since Turner's pitched at home. It was June the 20th against Saugerties. He threw the 6th inning out of the bullpen. Gave up 1 hit, only went to 1 inning. 3-1. In towards the belt. Ball 4. So Jonas will be on base. And Boonville hoping they can score some more. This is their first lead of the night.
Community College number 14, Devin Moran.
Devin Morant goes fastball hunting. Waiting on deck here, Alex Rodriguez. Oh, 1. Gonna sail on in for a called strike 2. So Moran gonna have to stay loose and agile. Outlaw pitchers haven't been getting ahead too many times. And there's a pitch out, and he won't get an offer. So it's 1-2. Outlaws in the field trying to stay loose and stay free at the moment. Off the end of the bat. One on a diagonal behind the dish. Two. And that one, he did tip it. High fly ball out towards left center. Zach Rowe going for a jog, meets the grab. And so there's 2 outs.
At the plate from the University of Florida, number 13, Alex Rodriguez.
So University of Florida product, Alex Rodriguez. Now up to bat here for Booneville. Booneville continuing to be on the rise here program-wise. We talked about it on our broadcast the other night, but just crazy and remarkable how just in the span of 1 year with the hiring of a new coaching staff, they've been able to completely retool and change everything about this program, basically, from dynamics to what they have on the field. Because, again, just 10 wins a year ago, finished tied for second to last in what was a 9-team division here on the east side last year. They finished tied with Albany. Only team behind them was Glens Falls, who's also been playing some pretty good baseball this summer. They have 8 wins and are actually the next closest team in front of the Outlaws. That one a foul ball and caught. Woodridge able to make a nice play.
Heading into
Rodriguez gets retired. Boonville scores 2 to take the lead on 2 hits, no errors, and they strand 1 on the base path. So we hit bottom 6 here in Oneonta. It is a 5-4 Boonville score. Schatz will finish off 3 innings for Boonville following DeHart, but a new arm going to come out of Queens College here for Boonville for this bottom half of inning 6. We'll introduce you in just a sec. Zach Rowe going to be brushed back by a low 1-1. Rowe on the evening, couple of walks. He scored a run, and the other time he was forced out. Part of a fielder's choice play for 6. There's a low take, and Rowe in a 2-0 count. Quit stepping the fire, and that'll come in the zone. Sneaky fastball for a strike. New arm is Peter Nanadich the third. His ERA a 15.58, 1-1 record, 6 appearances, 1 start, and he's gone 8 2/3 as he gets another call low on the outside edge, 2-2. 13 hits, 15 runs all earned, 9 walks, 7 strikeouts, and he has 2 wild pitches, both of which have been spiked balls off the plate. That one going to have a heck of a drop, and Rowe will be retired for the first out of the inning.
walking to the plate from Gardner-Webb University, number 48, Zach Robinson.
So Robinson going to take one in there for a called strike. It's 0-1. Robinson again going to lay off one. It's at 1-1. Nanadich stands 6'3", 195 out there on the hill from Bayside, New York, and he's a sophomore at Queens. Is in the zone, that comes. Just firing him heads up over and over again. He did post some pretty good numbers this spring for Queens as well. Had some starts towards the end of the season. Here's the 1-2. And rings him up looking. So, back-to-back punchies for Nanadich to start his outing.
Approaching the plate from Canisius University, number 10, Connor Waiting.
So with 2 outs already on back-to-back punch-outs, Connor Waiting trying to keep the half inning alive and keep the gel moving. Takes a strike. Nothing one. And Waiting able to take that one as it goes to 1-1. Big swing and a miss. And now just needs one more of those to get himself out of this. Nanadich going for the strikeout of the side. Bang! Nanadich strikes out all 3 Outlaws he sees in the 6th inning, all looking. Into the 7th we go here in Oneonta. It is 5-4 Booneville. So Turner's going to go get a new ball from our home plate umpire.
Immediately, yes. Immediately, yes.
So again, 0-2. Mason Rismondo. Outlaws trying to prevent from going back to the top of the Booneville lineup here in this inning. The offering from Turner. Going to be upstairs. It's 1-2. Turner put that one down off the dirt. Counts at 2-2. And there's another one that goes up high. Count goes full here on Rismondo. So the payoff, big swing and a miss, and that ends it. Mason Rismondo's retired. Jacob Turner looking pretty sharp here out of the bullpen. It's no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on here for the Jets. Still at top of the lineup in the 8th, but first the Laws come to bat, looking to tie this thing up. Outlaws back up to the plate against Peter Nanadich, who struck out all three and now gets greeted by a single. Jameson Pollitt drops one in front of Moran, and Outlaws in business already to start bottom 7.
From Westchester,
You love to see that.
number 18, Hugo Conhorst.
So Jameson Pollock, his second hit of the game. He's 2 for 3. Outlaws do have action in the bullpen and left, so probably going to have a new arm coming out. That one will bounce away. So it's ball 1. That one gonna miss low, ball 2. Try and bunt. That one got straight back to the screen, and the count's at 2-1. So again, it's a 2-1, and Conor is going to take one low, and the count rolls 3-1. That one tipped off the end of the bat, and so the count's full. Short lead for Pollock as again the Outlaws trying to find some way to tie this up. And there's a walk. So Hugo Conor finds a way to get on. It'll be first and second with nobody out.
14,
And Thomas Woodridge to try to do a job. Woodridge has been pretty sharp here for this Outlaw team tonight. I mean, he had that one error in the field, but at the plate, he has done some good stuff, and now he puts the bunt down. In it, it's Chargers on the run, puts that one high and won't get it there. Outlaws are going to have the bases loaded and nobody out, and this is where legends are made. An infield single for Woodridge, a pitch-perfect bunt. And now it's top of the lineup for Dane Richards. Richards going to take one up and away, ball 1. He has been on 2 of 3 times tonight. Takes a big hat through one, and the count will go to 1-1. Drifting up a bit, Namala from first on the edge of the grass. Perez is doing the same thing over at third. Is the pitch. Another big swing and a miss. And it's 1-2. Nanadich trying to work out of worst jam possible you want to see as a pitcher with bases loaded and nobody out. It's 1-2, misses off the plate. So 2-2. And again, he's got nowhere to put him with the bases loaded. Richards has been really working on hunting fastballs and counts, especially with 2 strikes. As he pops one up, foul territory, first base, gonna be caught. Namala racing over to make that snag. Kind of carried a little bit, but he was still able to locate. Oh, it's Zach Porter, excuse me. One out. And Porter blasts it out towards center. Caught on a one knee. Tagging from third. Bollard's coming to the plate. He'll score, and we're tied. So Zach Porter, a shallow sacrifice, does the job. Jameson Bollock, a little heads-up base running action. Like to see it.
Number 28, Jace Kohler.
Now there's 2 outs, though. And Jace Kohler going to be last hope of giving Oneonta a lead here. Again, you needed at least 1 to feel good about this half inning, and so at least now you feel good. Well, you'd certainly love to feel better with a couple of runs. Jace Kohler takes one up for ball 1. Got the half moon shining up above center field. As Kohler pushes one off foul. Came straight back behind the dish, and so it's 1-1. Nanadich, the 1-1. Spiked in front of the plate. That's going to bounce away from Bo Jonas. Both base runners will scoot up 90 feet, and this is huge. Conhorst at third, Woodridge at second, 2 are out. It's a 2-1 count. Jace Kohler at the plate. Outlaws and Lumberjacks in a 5-5 ball game. That one going to drift upstairs. And Jace Kohler has a 3-1 count. And Kohler, big swing and a miss. As Nanadich again went to the fastball down and away. So Jace Kohler is one of the biggest pitches of the night right here. What can he do with it? Payoff. High ball 4. So the bases are jacked yet again. And now Jack Flork, who's got a bit of pop in that bat. Second on the team in average, is going to come up.
Jack Clark.
So Jet Clark, 1 for 3, a single and a run scored in the second, an F9 in the third, and then a 4-3 ground out. Is that one going to sail up for ball 1? Conhorst at third, Woodridge at second, Kohler at first. Nanadich turning, looking around the horn. Is that one in there for a called strike?
All fans, this is last call to get some alcohol. Again, this is last call for some alcohol.
Jack Clark, that left foot pointed in towards the plate and his right foot back a bit. Is the 1-1. Big swing. And now it's 2-strike approach right here with 2 outs. Nanadich is 1-2, gonna sail high. Nanadich, it seems like, trying to frame those outside corners here against Clark. Not giving him anything up in the zone. Two. Tapper towards third, trying to keep it fair, and Perez goes to the bag and somehow gets the out. So Woodridge will be forced out over there. I don't know how that one stayed fair, but regardless, inning comes to a close. Outlaws get 1 on 2 hits, no errors, and they strain him loaded. To the 8th we go. It's top of the lineup for Boonville in a crucial spot. What are the Laws? Got left in them. Back at Oneonta, top of inning 8, and we're now in a 5-5 ball game. Alex Burciaga coming out of the bullpen behind Jacob Turner. And right about now, you hope Burciaga can shut the door and give the Laws 2 strong innings here. And would certainly be ideal to come up bottom 8 and get another run and get out of here. But 0-2. And again, it's Andy Perez at the plate. He's 1 for 3. Last time up, hit a single, scored a run. He also has struck out looking and popped to first in this one. Perez turns on 1 out towards left center. That drops for a base hit in shallow ground. So Perez with hits in each of his last 2 plate trips. And Boonville continues that streak of 6 of the last 7 innings having a leadoff base runner. Burciaga's looking for a new baseball here. Looking at his full stat line in the season so far, he's 0-2 in his 4 appearances, a 6.52 ERA, 9 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 9 runs, 7 earned, and 3 walks and 7 strikeouts. This one bounces away from Porter. The slide, Perez able to get in, swipe in the bag. So he goes to scoring position, and it's a 1-0 count here on Angel Santiago. That one comes off the bat, straight to the mats behind the dish. So it's at 1-1. Porter's walking out, talking to Burciaga. Got to make sure they stay locked in and on the same page because it's a massive spot.
Let me do it. Make a face. Now you gotta do the thing.
Short lead off second. Perez going to step off. He's really trying to test Burciaga right now and bait a throw. And time's called by Santiago. Seems like Boonville playing all the mind games. And Burciaga opposite stepped off. Really doing whatever he can to hang tough right now. This one turned and clear shot out towards left center, drifting over. Gonna be caught. Zach Rowe. And he fires it in real quick.
Athlete from Seminole State College, number 10, Chase Triplett.
So 1 out for Chase Triplett. And he'll walk back to the dugout, as in Santiago. He had that RBI triple earlier on in this ball game, and that's really been the only thing that's gone too well for him. He had a single earlier too, but it was kind of a weak ball. The triple's really the only big thing from the night you'll look back on and say, man, that was huge and kind of a game changer. But you love a competitive baseball game between these two squads tonight. One out, and that'll drop towards the Outlaw bullpen and left. So another fouler, and it's 1-1.
Whoa, that bug is huge.
Bro, you see this like every time it comes out, like the eighth inning, yes.
No, but that one is big. That one is big.
Chase Triplett and RBI sat fly in his last at bat, which gave Boonville their first lead as Burciaga gets a strike call. Outlaws then came right back, tied it up. And now just trying to keep fighting and keep doing a job here. 1-2. Swung right through. Burciaga gets a K. Bye-bye, Chase Triplett. So it'll be Bo Jonas. He walked his last time up. Also has a strikeout looking and a fly out to left. Woodridge just kind of walking around over there at third. He's looking on to see what's going on.
I'm gonna play it when we're going to, unless somebody else goes in.
That one going to drop down off Porter's glove in front of the dish, and it's a 1-0 count.
They're gonna have to listen to it.
Burciaga still checking Perez. Now he opts to step off. Burciaga, the 1-0, going to sail down and away. And it counts 2-0. So again, Burciaga has to kind of keep that ball right around the zone. You don't have too many pitches you can muff up and give up anything on. Now he gets a strike. Burciaga turns, looks behind him, 2-1, sails high. Porter, the gun throw to third, gonna bounce away. Racing from third, Perez is coming to the plate, and that's a costly error as Boonville takes the lead back. So the Lumberjacks gonna run on top 6-5. It will be a 3-1 count. Will be an E2, no doubt about it. When he's that close to the base, why throw? There's the 3-1. Straight back to the screen, and the count goes full.
No, because there's always a big bug on it.
Yeah, but not that.
No, there was one over there that was big.
Yeah, but not that big.
No, no.
You didn't believe us when the three of us said, yeah, it is.
So Burciaga with a massive payoff right here. Payoff? Just going to be low for ball 4. So Bo Jonas will get on. And the half inning will keep going.
Now batting number 14, Devin.
So it's 9-7 hits in favor of Boonville. As that'll be swung right through. Moran trails in the count 0-1. And again, he's 1 for 3 on the ball game so far.
I'm not doing it again. I need to go.
Utica just got word they had a 4-0 lead on Amsterdam tonight and lost 5-4.
Now hitting number 14, Devin.
Moran. Here we go. I don't know why I keep, I'm looking at it, I'm like, what does it say?
1-1. That'll sweep in the zone. As Burciaga ahead 1-2. Burciaga looks towards first. Now the 1-2. Sails upwards, ball 2. Keeping a nice eye on Bo Jonas at first, 2-2. Down in the dirt. Till it's full. Burciaga taking the quick glance towards first yet again, and now another payoff. Big swing and a miss, and he gets out of the inning. Not before a run scores, though, for Boonville. It'll be 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, and they strand 1. Bottom 8 coming up, and Outlaws need offense. They trail this thing 6-5. Boonville's got a new arm on the hill, and Outlaws got to make pay dirt. Lakeel Morris take it over on the bump. Morris on the season. His ERA is sitting at 4.76. He's 1-1 in 7 appearances, and he does have 2 saves. And right about now, he's looking for a big lockdown save against the Laws. Boonville not looking to come here to Damaski and take an L back north. Acro able to tip one off foul. So the count to 1-1. Looking at his rest of his stat line, again 11 in the third inning, 6 hits, 6 runs all earned, and he's walked 9 and struck out 11 and has 3 wild pitches. 1-1. Gonna miss down and away. Zach Rowe gonna have Zach Robinson and Connor Waiting up behind him in the lineup here in this 8th inning. 2-1 from Morris. Gonna sail up and away. So 3-1. And Rowe chops it straight backwards. So it's full here in the battle between Morris and Rowe. And that one going to ring him up looking. Gets frozen by one, low on the outside edge. And he'll head back to the dugout. As it's now Zach Robinson.
Number 48, Zach Robinson.
Robinson, a walk and a run scored in the 2nd inning. Reached on a fielder's choice in the 4th, stole 2 bases and got stranded. And then most recently struck out looking in the 6th. Takes a fastball for a called strike. Morris is 0-1, going to drift up high. Morris 1-1 pitch. Going to be just tie, ball 2.
Representing the Vikings from Hudson Valley Community College, number whatever.
2-1. In there, called strike. So Robinson watching that one go by. And now he's got to offer for something, whatever Morris gives him. Two. And Jonas slides over to keep it in front of him, so it's full. Payoff pitch. Robinson, left side, turning, firing. And going to be in time. Robinson hustled down that line, and man, he made that play look really dang close. Perez had a lot of time to turn and spin and throw, and Robinson putting it all on the line, diving, trying to get in the first. But won't be enough. So now Connor Waiting, trying to keep it going. Boonville's bullpen totally quiet here, so got to wonder if Lakeel Morris is going to try to go for 2-inning save. And Outlaws bullpen looking quiet as well, so it seems like Alex Burciaga going to come out and try to finish things off. Waiting in a 1-1 count with one away. That'll drift up high, ball 2. Waiting, taking another high one. And so he finds himself ahead 3-1. Now he's in the driver's seat and can command what he wants. That one will come up high, and he'll get on base. So Waiting worked a 2-out walk.
Walking to the plate, representing the Vikings of Hudson Valley Community College.
And now Jameson Bollock
Jameson Bollock.
going to try to do something with it. They need Bollock to put a ball in play and find a way to make something happen. Tonight's certainly been one of his better games here as of late, as he takes called strike. He's got 2 hits, 2 RBIs, and a run scored in this game, and he is a contender for player of the game for the Outlaws tonight. 0-1. Out towards left center, chasing it back. That one falls off the glove of Moran. He slips in, gets up. The stop sign on there for Waiting as he got a bad read on it. So Waiting didn't get a good read, and going to third. Bollock at least gets the 2-bagger with swagger.
18, Hugo Cohnhorst.
And it's second and third with 2 outs. So here goes Hugo Cohnhorst. Hugo's got a lot of space between short and third. Got a lot of space straight up the gut as well. And he'll take a strike. Morris with an 0-1 count. And Cohnhorst high in the air out towards left center, going back a bit. Moran's got it. Easy can of corn, inning over. We go to the 9th. Booneville, 6-5.
Walking to the plate from the University
Top of the 9th here in Oneonta. Outlaws still trailing Booneville by a 6-5 score. Alex Burciaga back out for another half inning, and Alex Rodriguez will start things off here for the Lumberjacks in the ninth. Outlaws once again strand two in scoring position in the eighth inning, and storylines that have plagued this team all summer just keep being stories, and eventually most teams turn a page, and we've yet to turn that page. 1-0. Gonna creep in there for a strike, and it's 1-1. This one skyrocketed up towards the dugout, and that'll drop in front of the seats. So it's 1-2. Once again, Outlaws are back home Friday, following the off day tomorrow. Start of a 3-game homestand. We're here Friday, Big Bang Boom and Blue Night against Mohawk Valley. It'll be a 6 p.m. first pitch. And we're also here on Saturday. It'll be Race to the Park night. Got our 5K beforehand, 5:30, and then game against Saugerties at 7. One, two. And that's going to drop low. Two. Wedges off foul. So Rodriguez has already worked 6 here against Burciaga starting the 9th. Two. And that's going to be just a bit high. So it's full. Payoff. High for ball 4. So leadoff walk for Rodriguez starts the 9th.
Batting number 27, Akil Namala.
Gil Namal is 1 for 3 tonight. And it looks like Ian Wirtz and Asa Dugan are going jogging down towards the Outlaw bullpen. Gage Burciaga gets in some trouble and can't get out of this 9th. He tries to pick off. Good breaking pitch from Burciaga. Gets him ahead 0-1. And all each of his strikeouts have been swinging. He's been offering to just about everything, hasn't been shy. Burciaga checks the runner. Oh, 1 swing and a miss. So it's 0-2 here on Akel Namala. Burciaga looking and checking a first. And time going to be called. Namala didn't want any piece standing in there and waiting for that. Burciaga again checking the runner. Burciaga 0-2. This one going to stay fair towards third. Charging Woodridge. Going to eat it. No throw. So it's first and second for Boonville with still nobody out. And now Miguel Gonzalez.
At the plate, number 9, Miguel Gonzalez.
At a 3-6 double play, ground out in the third. He sits and scored a run in the 5th. And singled, stole a base, and got left on in the 7th. Burciaga turning and looking around behind him is the 0-1. Got a drift tie, and the count's at 1-1. And this one up a mile high. Burciaga was going open. He could have a play. But at the very least, at least it's 1-2. Boonville's walking around, very active in their dugout here. Burciaga 1-2. Skyrocketed up foul. So Boonville continuing to keep the foot on the gas and drive up that Burciaga pitch counter. Love to get a ground ball and get a couple outs here. It would certainly be ideal. Now Burciaga's pitch. Shot over the screen this side of things. So there's 5 already. Burciaga 1-2 again, gonna miss up high. 2-2. Swatted straight up the middle, finds a hole and gets into center. Waved around third. Rodriguez is going to come to the plate and score. Boonville now leading 7-5. Keaton Marsh going to walk out of the dugout. And this is going to be it for Alex Burciaga. So, Boonville 7-5 lead. Asa Dugan going to have 2 runners on when we come back. Top of the ninth inning here at Tomaski Field. If you missed it, Boonville stretching out their lead. It's now 7-5. They got first and second. Asa Dugan inherits the runners as Burciaga just scoring 1 inning plus. And immediately after one pitch, Zach Porter's going to come out and talk to Dugan. Dugan's made 7 appearances for the Outlaws. Started one game, which came on the road in Glens Falls a couple weeks back. He's got a 1-1 record, 13 1/3 innings, and has struck out 6, and his ERA sits at 5.40. He did get a couple outs at the end of the game last night, both courtesy of the punch out in Booneville. 2/3 of an inning, 2 strikeouts, only saw 2. Straight back, that goes foul. And it'll be a 1-1 count on Jacob Newland. Prior to yesterday, he went inning and 2/3 Friday against Amsterdam out of the bullpen. 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, struck out 1. And the night before, an inning and a third at Booneville. So each of the 3 games against Booneville, he's appeared on the bump. His longest outing, 4 innings, which came down in Saugerties early in the month of June. Gone 3 1/3 innings once and has gone 2 innings twice as well. 2-1. Nice drop in there and it evens. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That one will drop low. And count goes full on Newland. Again, it's Namala at second, Gonzalez at first. And the Lumberjacks threatening, trying to cash on and add some more. That one will come up and leave the ballpark. So just saw in Amsterdam, as I had mentioned, with the Mohawks getting a win, it was actually a walk-off coming courtesy of Brandon McCrane. It was a triple that got the job done at Shuttleworth tonight. Ended up clearing the bases, got him the victory, and what a night it was. Fireworks night in Amsterdam to get that one done. Payoff swung on and missed. And Dugan gets a punch out. So that's a huge one for Newland right there. She's retired, and now Mason Rismondo going to come back up. Again, you hope you can get a ground ball, get a couple of quick outs, and get back to the plate and keep the score where it is. That one dropping outside low. Just a sec, we'll run through the full out-of-town scoreboard. We're just 1 of 2 games left that's still playing right now. 1 out. Swung right through. Final in Auburn. Doubledays take down the Pioneers 12-2. At Dwyer Stadium in Batavia. Mutt Dogs outlast Niagara 5-3. The only road victory of the night as of now. Geneva at Newark, 5-2 Red Wings take it. Mohawks beat Utica in that walk-off that I was talking about from McCrane, 5-4. And in the bottom of the 8th in Saugerties, the Stallions have a 7-5 lead over the Dragons. 2-1. Skips upwards, and it runs to 3-1. That'll be low ball 4. And bases are going to be loaded for Booneville.
Walking to the plate from the University of Pittsburgh, number 5, Andy Perez.
So it's back to the top of the lineup for Andy Perez. And he takes a low off-speed miss for ball one. This one shot up right side of the infield. Ball chasing it back, and he's got it for the out. So there's two away. And now it's Angel Santiago here for the Jets. That one will come inwards for ball one. Santiago, 2 hits tonight. He's 2 for 4. Is this Booneville trying to go deeper into a 5th time through the lineup? 1 out. That one straight back into the screen. It's 1-1. Duke gets 1-1. Squeaks in the zone for a called strike 2. Can we get one more of those?
Please. With the side of 2 runs after.
1-2. Out in the air towards left center, racing over Zach Rowe, and it's Richards who gets there. Zach Rowe went racing, but Richards beat him to it, gets the out, and that's what counts. Bottom of the 9th coming up next. Outlaws going to have Woodridge, Richards, and Porter when we come back. Well, bottom of the 9th inning here in Oneonta, and Outlaws are down 7-5. New arm on the hill for Boonville. Will Markwood facing Thomas Woodridge, and he offers up a strike. Everybody left here in Oneonta on the edge of their seats with the Outlaws down by 2. It's been a lot of games that haven't been also close at the end as Woodridge starts it with a single. Seems like every time something like this happens, then all of a sudden the soul starts to get a little down. So hopefully something can give. It'll be Dane Richards in top of this Outlaw lineup. Richards, first pitch swinging out towards the left center. Gap, gonna get caught.
Walking to the plate from Wofford University.
So, we an F8. And Zach Porter gonna come on up. For whatever reason, the Outlaws dugout has some energy now. That'll miss up high. Porter out towards shallow left center, drifting in, gets caught. Rodriguez, bat-to-bat flies to him, and now Jace Kohler. This will be the Outlaws' last out.
Approaching the plate from High Point University, number 28, Chase Kohler.
Again, last chance for the Outlaws here, down 2 with 2 away in the 9th. That one gonna miss down and away, ball 1. Kohler's 0 for 3 with a walk. Will Markwood trying to get his first save of the season right here. That one sails in high. Markwood checks the runner. 2-0. Kohler out to right field, drifting in a bit. Going to get caught by Rismondo, and this one's over. Outlaws once again lose a heartbreaker at home. Final score, Boonville 7-5. Not much more to say than that. Lumberjacks, 7 runs, 11 hits, 1 error. Outlaws, 5 runs, 9 hits, 3 errors. Outlaws going to drop to 3-19. Boonville 14-8, and they creep another half game closer to Amsterdam at the top of this Eastern Division. So we're back here Friday facing Mohawk Valley, 6 o'clock on the 4th. Boonville home tomorrow, take on Mohawk Valley in a doubleheader. Starting at 5:30, but again, that does it for us here tonight. Your final score, 7-5, and we will see you Friday for the 4th of July.